Good evening. So this is Manoj. I'm the Master for Current Affairs for CiviccentreIAS. So how many of you have given groups mains earlier? Can you please tell me? Have you given mains earlier? No, this is the first time you're qualifying. Okay. So are you writing group 2 also, or you're writing only for group 1? Only group 1. So how far, how is it going? Like last, you don't even have 3 months also, no? So allow me. Okay. So what is the strategy you're following for SNT in the last few months for mains specifically? Yeah, online participants can message in the chat box. How many of you gave mains earlier, and like how many of you giving it for the first time? Yeah, please. Chapan. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay. So test series कर रहा है? Okay. 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 Yeah. Online participants, you can respond in the chat box. Yeah. Since no one's responding, I'll start off with the class. First of all, yeah, what is science and what is technology? What is science? We have been studying science since we were children, right? So what is actually science and what is technology? What do we get out of science? Science is a systematic understanding, right? To derive the principles, to derive the laws, right? We have social sciences, we have general sciences, we have biology, we have physics, we have chemistry. So all these are sciences. So these sciences are nothing but a set of principles which governs the things around in the universe. Am I right? Now this fan is running. This is because of the electricity or some principle which makes it rotate, right? So science is nothing but a set of principles which governs the universe, right? So this is the agenda of the session. So it's a systematic study of the natural world to formulate the laws and principles. This is through observation, experimentation, analysis, and finally it's basically all about the traditional truths and laws. So we get these laws out of thing. And what is technology? Technology is some invention which makes the human efforts easier, right? Which are nothing but the engineered products which will help the customers or which will help the public, right? So there is science, there is technology, and this science is transformed to technology because of the engineering. Am I clear? Right. So this is about the science. So the way do we use science? As I said, it on a daily basis. For example, if you are cooking, the cooking happens because of the heat transfer. Right. There is conduction, there is convection in the cooking, right? And even to manufacture the medicines, you use chemistry and you mix different compounds, right? And then with respect to weather forecasting, we are using like space communication, space technology. And then with respect to environmental awareness, so we measure pollution, right? We have something called as air quality index. Even there, where you're measuring the pollutants. So in every place in our universe is made of science itself, because all are made of atoms, right? So all the universe is made of, what do you say? Everywhere there is science to work. This gives the principles on how this universe works. Then what is engineering? So using the principles obtained in science, we are engineering the products. And when that product is brought to become technology, which will help the customers, which will add value, which will help for the development. So then that is called technology, right? So all the machines, processes that involve. So now, for example, now we need buildings. We need big buildings because buildings are considered capital investment by companies, right? So even there you have that. And then with respect to transportation, now we are getting automatic cars. Now we are getting electric cars. So all this is part of technology, technological development, right? Then we have home appliances. So now, because of now we have got even automatic fans. So on these fans, so you can operate with remote. Now you have smart homes where you can control the entire home with just your smartphone. So all this is nothing but this is all done by engineers, or this is called engineering. Now this engineered products, whenever the practical application of this scientific knowledge is applied, is engineered to get the products which are for the customers, which are for the public, which help us like achieve development, which help us like achieve money or monetary value. That is nothing but the technology. So what are different types of technology? We have biotechnology, we have automobile technology, we have nanotechnology, we have nuclear technology. See, all these are nothing but the engineered products, application of science. We are going to get some outcome with respect to it. So now this is nothing but science and technology. So now, why do we need this like science and technology as a whole? Why do we need it in general? Why do we need technology? So what has changed from the early ages where people were just hunters and gatherers, and what has like where did we come now? Now we have got artificial intelligence, which is far more like considered far more superior than the human intelligence, right? And it is even affecting the economies globally. Recently, what happened? DeepSeek AI of China that was released by some company at a far more cheaper rate, at a far more cheaper price, and with better superior qualities. That was possible because like they were able to find some hack. Basically, they need GPUs. With respect, we need large GPUs to operate such big AI models. But these people have removed the need for GPUs itself. So all this is technology. So this technological impact we have everywhere in all the dimensions of the life. So when I say dimensions, from these dimensions, you have to understand that as a civil servant, you are expected to have such multiple dimensions with respect to any issue. Am I coming to the point? So in prelims, it's all about the knowledge. It's all about the facts. But is it the same in the mains? No. In mains, it's all about understanding a problem in a very limited time and coming out with a solution to a problem. In real life, maybe these two are the scenarios. You will have a problem as a civil servant. You'll have your district has a problem. You have to solve it. In real life, it might be very simple, but here you are put under such a pressure that you are expected to identify challenges, features, benefits, or what are the possible solutions to it. These are what are asked in the exam, right? So the entire target of this session. So what was the thumbnail for this session? Or like what is the post you see? How to get 90 plus? How to get 90 plus? Why do you have to get 90 plus? Why 90 plus only in this paper? Do you need 90 plus only in this paper or like all other papers also? Yeah. A good option, right? Because like you're putting minimum efforts compared to other papers, and you have more potential to score more marks when you write a good answer. When you write a good answer, not just relevant answer, to score 90 plus, you at least your 60 to 70% of the marks answer should be good. So we'll come to there also, like what is a good answer. So in SNT in daily life, as I said, it is even impacting economies. It even impacts social life, right? So it impacts every sphere of life. Because of the technology itself, the network has grown. Globalization has been possible, right? Because of technology itself, even the rural people are the people who were in the northeastern areas when there was COVID affected, when the country was affected by COVID, even those people were able to get access to education. This is because of the telecommunication and the internet facilities. So technology there is in every sphere of life. So in daily life you have, and with respect to exam, as you said, you have almost the entire paper covers SNT. So you have to study no matter what. You just can't say I'll score in all of the papers and I can't score in this. Every topper who has like got into the service, he has scored at least like above average marks in at least average marks in all the papers. So your strength might be one paper, but you have to score at least average marks in one paper, and you should be very strong with one good paper. And one such paper which can be an option is SNT, because limited syllabus and it is mainly based on the current affairs. Syllabus is very detailed given, so it's very easy for you to like score well when you understand the demand of this paper. So now, what do you think is the demand of this paper? How is the demand different compared to other papers? Hmm? Hmm. So what happens when a paper is dynamic? What happens when something is dynamic? See, when we have cyber crimes, what is digital arrest? In papers, you might have seen recently, many people have been duped of money because of digital arrest. So digital arrest is something where the people or the cyber criminals like enact themselves as some judicial like very big officers or enforcement officers or some legal officers, and they try to scam the people mainly for the monetary benefit. So the person is digitally arrested from the phone, like maybe on the video call or whatsoever. Imagine you being arrested like at least for 48 hours with so much tension, like all your data being leaked, or like he's getting all the data from you, you're being blackmailed. So that is the kind of what do you say? Technology has risen to that level. So when there is technology to that level, we need solutions also to that level. Am I making it clear? So when you get technology, you will have problems and you need solutions to that also. So as a civil servant, you are expected, to know that problems in advance and you have to come out with solutions. So like there are many case studies where the civil servants has used technology and made many people lives better. And when technology comes into picture, as I said, like every sphere of the life is being impacted. So when this level of understanding, when you have out the paper, this is the main purpose of the paper. The main purpose here is you being aware of all the emerging technologies, you being aware of all the problems, or maybe vaccines. You have vaccines in the syllabus, you have diseases in the syllabus, you have biotechnology in syllabus. What are the applications of biotechnology? Like we are having like even gene therapy, where you can like get targeted treatment or a targeted medicine with respect to specific person. So these are the wide range of applications with respect to science and technology. As a civil servant, when you're becoming a collector or a district collector to some particular district, you're supposed to know all these things for a number of reasons, maybe disaster management, maybe public health, maybe anything. Right. So, for instance, effective policy formulation and implementation. For example, what is one of the recent policies government has brought? National e-mobility plan. Biotechnology, we have biotechnology policy also, Bio E3. So how is government coming out with such policies? Who are making these policies? These policies are framed by the secretaries of the departments, who are no one but the civil servants. So if a person has to know that if the India has to reduce the carbon emissions, reduce the pollution in the environment, so we have to come out with biofuels. That's why we got ethanol blended petrol, right? We changed the BS norms. So as a civil servant, you are supposed to know that. And then coming to disaster management risk reduction. So how you manage a disaster? When you predict the disaster in advance, you mitigate the disaster. Like you take measures before itself, right? That is happens because of the uh, communication satellite, like satellite space technology, right? And then like with respect to public health and sanitation, whenever a disease is spreading, so what is a particular disease? For example, there's a disease. You need to know how the disease is caused. Is it contagious or not? Now, for example, BCG. So BCG disease has been in news, right? So when the disease has been in news, there has been a lot of misinformation that this is contagious, but this disease is not contagious. So as a civil servant, if for you to like, for example, if there's an outbreak in the country, like in your state itself, you need to know how to handle the disease. If that disease is more prevalent in your district, right? So for that reason, you need to know. And with respect to environmental conservation, like we have the same environment in this. You need to be aware of the pollution. What are the problems? How do you solve those with the latest technological advancements? And then with respect to agriculture and food security, we have FSSAI, Food Safety and Security, like Authority of India, right? It has some regulations with respect to food. So why do you need that? When you don't need that, when you don't take care of that, what if it is at a greater risk of public? Public is at the greater risk, because there is need to be some authority which gives the regulation, which regulates the licenses, right? Recently, now if you might have seen in Instagram or news, many of the what do you say, Hyderabad hotels have been raided, and Hyderabad has been rated worst in the food safety or food quality, right? Food neatness, basically. Yeah, something like that. So, like as a civil servant, you're expected to know all this. And defense and security and border management. So, defense, defense technology is one of the biggest businesses also. And based on that, like many deals happen, because the security of the nation is very important. So, with respect to internal security, it's not that you have to have huge weapons, but when your enemy, or when your allies are like when your allies are having it, you are also supposed to have it. So for that, we need to so many technical, like we have got Agni 5 missile, right? So many good new technologies. And for judicial reforms, why do you need judicial reforms? The biggest, one of the biggest reasons, biggest problems in the judiciary is what? Delay in the cases, delay in the delivery of the justice. So the speedy justice trials can be given, and like by using we can apply artificial intelligence or machine learning in this, right? So as a civil servant, you're supposed to know like all like when you know all these things only, you will be able to like you're a civil servant. Have you like seen the series called Aspirants? Aspirants, no, you aspirants you saw, no? There's one dialogue. what do you say, the main character says, a preparation, the training doesn't start from once after the preparation, but it starts once you start preparing for yourself, right? This is because, see, isn't it quite evident that you deserve what you get in life? So when you are sitting in front of the interview board and it sees that this person has already the qualities of the civil servant, so why wouldn't you be in? So that is how the ideal cases should work, right? That is how the ideal cases should work. So when you have this level of maturity in your answer, when you get this level of maturity in the answer, you will have this level of maturity even in the interview board also. Am I right? So here it's all about the analysis. It's about the understanding. It's about your dynamic nature of thinking about the problems and the solutions to it. So for you to score 90 plus, one thing which no one would tell you is to have this level of maturity in your answer. Because I'm telling you, the person who is correcting the answer doesn't know anything about you, doesn't know how many hours you prepared, doesn't know what's your age, doesn't know how much you have hard you have tried, and you don't know how you will write the answer. Even you don't know like how you have written the answer. But the only evidence or the only thing which is visible to him is the answer in front of him. So your answer should be so good that it should be multidimensional. It should be dimensions segregated into different parts. And also the last part is you are not just identifying the problem, but also giving solutions with respect to the expert committees. And you're also aware of the current trends or the current issues with respect to in the current affairs, with respect to regional, national, international, which is mentioned in the prelim syllabus itself, right? So this is nothing but the syllabus. This is mainly with respect to major scientific, basically theory part, and every part of it has current affairs. Then we have ICT. See, in ICT, like cyber crimes and policies, this is very important because, as I said, now the technology is advancing. Digital arrest is one of the thing, and like spam calls, we have many cyber crimes. So that's why only we have had Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center (IFOC). We have established that, right? Then we have many ISRO because many satellites are being launched. Recently, we launched Gaganyaan, and we are planning Chandrayaan 4. So space exploration and space resources and extra space habitation and all this has been the cause of research scope for, there has been scope for research in these areas. Now the research has been happening in these areas. So as I said, if you look at the syllabus entirely, now here see, why do we need to talk about energy? Because we are we are depending on the imports for energy. So when you depend more on the imports on the energy, first of all, when there is any price instability, it will affect the economy a lot. So the demand is not under your control. And secondly, the carbon emissions is one of the problem, right? And the import bill is being reduced. What happens when the imports are more than exports? Then you get the trade deficit. You're going to have more trade deficit, and the company is going to have more deficit compared to surplus, right? So if you look at all the diseases and if you look at the nature of the themes which have been placed in the syllabus, you will understand. Have I shown the relevance? Just now I explained the relevance with respect to after getting the service, right? So now if you see all these things, even the topics are like that. So the board whichever is there, the APPSC board they want you to have an awareness about all these things. So it is quite evident now, because I have told you like what civil servants actually do on the field. I have shown you the syllabus, what is there. So I have told you like how it is linked. Why do you need to study these? Okay, now we have studied these. Then how do you approach this? How do you approach this? Now I have told you like what to do and all. How do you approach this? Like tell me how are you studying SNT? Hmm. Yeah. Okay. You. Okay. So yeah, basically you're following the reverse engineering technique. Yeah. Okay. So the approach you need to have is nothing but the core approach, which is through the reverse engineering technique. Now, what is this core approach? See, what is the core of any exam? The core of any exam is first one is syllabus, second one is PYQs. These two are the core of this exam. So whenever you're going to a new exam, all you know is like how the questions have been asked and how is the syllabus. So like what's your name? You said like initially he said like he was like looking at the PYQs and he was doing through the PYQs. That's how you need to study for this or be it any subject. So when I'm saying core, so this is the core which we are talking about, which is nothing but the syllabus and PYQs. So at this core, we have syllabus and PYQs, and what people usually do is they come like this. They come like this through like taking books, taking newspapers, taking this magazine, that magazine, studying everything. But that's not how you need to study. Because if you're going to study that way, first of all, you're like after you finish like 50 to 100 topics, you don't even remember what the first topic is. Right? Does it make sense? Right? So you need to follow core approach. In core approach, what you're going to do, first take the syllabus, and before touching any book, or before touching any material, first look at the PYQs which are asked from that particular topic. PYQs which are asked from that particular topic. So when you look at the PYQ, first thing you'll understand the themes, what kind of themes are being asked, and second you will understand what kind of like how the question is being asked, and means to what level you have to study some particular topic, right? So first thing, that's why you have to look at the syllabus, and then you have to look at the PYQs. Then select good sources. Select good sources. When I say good sources, do I mean that the topics are going to come from it? Topics are everywhere. A good source is such a source where you will get all the relevant information which you need to write, rather than you just like learn too much. Why do you need to study too much? Because you don't even have to write like some essay. You need to write just what do you need to write? Some 250 to 300 words or 200 words, whatsoever it is, whatsoever. So for that, if you have just a notes of 600 words, would it be enough for every topic? Because in that 600 words itself, you can cover introduction, you can cover body, you can cover what it is, features, challenges, positives, negatives, like what are the solutions with respect to it, any government initiatives. So does all these notes, if you make it in, can you make it in 600 words? So what if you have such 200 to 300 themes ready, and these themes you are going to do it from the PYQs, at the same point of time, the issues which are in the current affairs. Issues which are in the current affairs. So when you do this, you are following the core approach and you're following the reverse engineering technique. So when I said engineering is about knowing, like making a product, final product, which will help the customers. What is reverse engineering? You break down the component and see how it is made. That is what reverse engineering is. So if you have to come back to atom of this, like which is the smallest particle of this particular blank, you have to break it so much so that like that particle, last particle becomes one atom, right? So this is reverse engineering. So follow this core approach, and so try to make notes like from that. So when I say here, we'll talk about first why you need to make notes and how do you need to make notes. So tell me, what is the purpose of note taking at all, or having organized content? So what is the purpose of revision? Yeah, both are correct. You need notes. You need notes first of all for organized content. Second one, what did you say? For quick revision. So my first question again, why do we need organized content? What is the meaning of organized content? So why do we need it? Yeah, relevant exam says relevance is in the structure. Yeah. So there is going to have a particular structure. Where do you find this similar structure? In your answers. So the quality of your notes, you need to have an organized content, because the quality of your notes is going to give you the quality in your answers. Am I correct? Because answer writing is all about having predefined frameworks. That's it. So what did I tell you in the initial starting of the class? If you have to score more in the paper, you have to complete the entire paper. So who is a person completes such answers in the entire paper, like in that given time in the entire paper? One who is very well versed with the skill of answer writing, and one who had all, like whenever he knows that this question is going to come. So he has like his own introduction, he has his own body, his conclusion ready. So once he sees that topic, he'll be like, bah, ras padeddam ranka. So it's like he got his notes, like he made notes on the topic. So when you see such topic in the exam, you will have that confidence. You'll feel like Pushpa. Taggedele. Are you getting my point? So when I say you have to write above average answer like in the most of the paper, do you think it's a very easy task? Like it's not at all easy, I'm telling you. It means like looking at 15 different questions, like you have to immediately get what the framework should be, and not just the framework. You have to remember the relevant facts. You have to remember the relevant examples. You have to give relevant substantiation. Now, does it seem hectic? Yeah, it is actually hectic. Scoring 90 plus is not at all easy. But for you to do, I have to tell you the reality now itself. Because I can't like take this class after the mains. Right now, you have still 3 months. Have you studied for group 2? Have you given group 2? No, yeah, group 1 only. Okay. So now, as I told you, for the first thing, you need organized content because so that you will have organized answers. When I say organization, we have precise. Your answers need to be precise, to the point. Your answers need to be relevant, and they have to be in a coherent. They have to be coherent in a logical flow. Like which point to come connection. They have to be in coherence, in connection, like connecting one part of the answer to the other part of the answer. Basic answer చదువుతున్నప్పుడు ఏంటంటే పాట అనిపించాలి. So that a good flow should be there in your answer. We don't know who is going to correct the paper. I'm telling you, I don't know still. Even the person thinks so much, or even the board thought so much. అరే మేము పేపర్ ఇట్లా చేయడానికి ఇంత మీనింగ్ ఉందని వీడికి ఎక్కువ అర్థమైపోయిందని కూడా అనుకోవచ్చు. They might have thought that. I don't know if that is the level of what do you say, level they are looking at, such maturity. But I'm telling you, be such matured civil servant. కొట్టిన తర్వాత మనకి ఎలా అనిపించాలంటే నాకు కాబట్టి ఎవరికి వస్తుంది కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ వెళ్ళాలి అంటే ఏదో రాసేసాను వచ్చేసింది అన్నట్టు వెళ్ళకూడదు కదా, అంతే కదా. అందరూ కొట్టి మనం కొట్టామని చెప్పి మనకు తెలియాలి ముందే, రిజల్ట్ కంటే ముందే మనకు తెలియాలి. బికాస్ యూ టు బి సాటిస్ఫైడ్ విత్ యువర్ ఆన్సర్. అల్టిమేట్లీ ద పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ ద లైఫ్ ఈజ్ ఎ లైఫ్ విత్ పర్పస్. ద పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ ద లైఫ్ ఈజ్ లైఫ్ విత్ పర్పస్. ఆ లైఫ్లో ఏదైతే మనకి పర్పస్ ఉందో, ఈ ఎగ్జామ్కి ఇప్పటికీ యువర్ ఓన్లీ పర్పస్ ఈజ్ టు రైట్ రెలవెంట్ అండ్ గుడ్ ఆన్సర్స్, స్టికింగ్ టు ద కోర్ అప్రోచ్. స్టికింగ్ టు ద కోర్ అప్రోచ్. వస్తాయి 90+ వచ్చేస్తాయి అప్పుడే. జస్ట్ అరగంట క్లాస్ చెప్పేసాను, ఇంత మోటివేషన్ సరికి వచ్చేసాయి అనిపించింది. సో హౌ విల్ యూ గెట్ దిస్ 90+? సో నోట్స్ యూ హ్యావ్ సీన్ లైక్ ఫర్ ఆర్గనైజ్ కంటెంట్. వై డూ యూ నీడ్ టు రివైజ్? రివిజన్ ఎందుకు చేయాలి నేను? Yeah, recall better. Why do I need to recall? So what is this recalling? What is your recall period? Or like if you have studied one particular topic this day, which is Feb 13th, one day before the Valentine's Day. Okay. So what is your recalling capacity? అది మీకు ఎన్ని రోజుల వరకు గుర్తుంటుంది? యా, రేపటికి 50% వెళ్ళిపోద్ది, నెక్స్ట్ డేకి 25% వెళ్ళిపోద్ది. చెప్పాలంటే వాళ్ళ తర్వాత ఇంక గుర్తు కూడా ఉండదు. సో ఫర్ దట్ క్విక్ రివిజన్ అండ్ లీవ్ ఆల్ దట్. Imagine your exam is just 3 days from now. Okay, your exam is just 3 days from now. You want to revise this paper 5. Now, which book will you take? You can't take any book because it won't be like this organized, which I told you to help you write the answers. So doing all that won't help you. If you look at test series, you will see so much content. నా వల్ల కాదురా బాబు పక్కన పడేస్తాం. మనకంటూ మన నోట్స్ ఉండి ఆ చదువుకుంటూ ఉంటే ఆ సాటిస్ఫాక్షన్ వేరు ఉంటుంది. You will understand it better. When you make that notes with effort while studying, you will feel very comfortable because that was made by your own, not by someone else. So that's going to help you a lot. That's going to help you a lot in your preparation. So for these two reasons you need it. So how do I make notes? మీరు ఇప్పుడు నోట్స్ ఎలా చేసుకుంటారు అని చెప్పంటే, నేను చెప్పినట్టు ఫస్ట్ సిలబస్ తీసుకోండి. ఫస్ట్ టేక్ ద సిలబస్ కాపీ, put it beside you and try to microlist the syllabus. Microlisting of syllabus and TNT. For example, there is space technology in India. You need to understand what are the different missions I need to study first. How will you identify those? Nothing. It's very simple. Go to ISRO website. Don't go to any particular institute magazine. I'm telling you, don't. If you want to follow, you can follow CivicCentre because that's very good. We have released material for Group 1 and Group 2 also. Group 2 recently, the material is very good. You can read that. But what I'm trying to say is, from there you're getting the content, but how do you know which topic you have to focus more? So the topics which have been in the current context will have the better chance of coming. ఇప్పుడు వాటి న్యూస్లో కూడా ఏం లేకుండా క్వశ్చన్ వచ్చేస్తే మనం ఏం చేయలేము. Those balls are bouncers. So but the main process we are going to follow is, because of that bouncer, we are not following the right strategy for the 14 other answers. Which is the right strategy? PYQ చూడడము, సిలబస్ చూడడము, దాని ఏదైతే స్టాటిక్ కంటెంట్ చదువుకోవడము, కరెంట్ అఫైర్స్ ఏమైనా రాసుకోవడము, దానికి రిలేటెడ్ డేటా కానీ పాయింట్స్ కానీ ఒకే దగ్గర ఆర్గనైజ్ చేసుకోవడము, అంతే. So all you have to do is like just microlist the syllabus, make just 500 to 600 words content on every particular theme, and then your job is done. More than this, you can't do anything. More than this, if you try to do something else, you won't be able to finish the entire syllabus. That I will promise. because you don't have this, you just don't have this paper, you have other papers also, right? Online participants, are you following? Yeah, can someone respond? పడుకున్నారా వింటున్నారా? Yeah, good. Yeah, Arun, you gave twice. So how do you make these notes? First, what you are going to do is microlist the syllabus. First, what you're going to do is microlist the syllabus. After microlisting the syllabus, take the themes which are asked in that particular topic. For example, policy unte National Science and Technology Policy 2013, tarvata 2020 policy. So whatever themes have come, like try to take down those themes. So take those themes. Then what happens? Try to identify different dimensions. Try to identify different dimensions. What are the different dimensions? So it will be, what is it? Then if for any particular features, objectives, positives, negatives, and lastly, any government initiatives, and solutions. ఏ టాపిక్ తీసుకున్నా ఇంతకు మించి ఏముండదు. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ డిసీజెస్ ఆర్ వ్యాక్సిన్స్ అవ్వచ్చు, దాని పర్టికులర్ డైమెన్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి. బట్ ఇన్ జనరల్ దీస్ ఆర్ డైమెన్షన్స్ నో. So now what is the demand? What is the particular what is the purpose of making this dimensions? So we have made these dimensions, and this is mainly because of the answers. Enduku ani cheppante, now as I said, the main purpose of clearing this exam ani cheppante scoring well in the answer. So what do I mean by a relevant answer, or what do I mean by a good answer? So when I mean a good answer, I mean good introduction, good body, good conclusion. Am I correct? When I say relevant, good answer, good intro, good body, good conclusion. What do I mean by relevant answer? Relevant intro, relevant body, relevant conclusion. So what is this relevance? So what is this relevance means? This relevance is with respect to two things. One is with respect to theme, which means the topic which has been asked in the particular question, and the other one is the keyword. Other is the keyword. So keyword, you have different keywords, question tags, enlist, analyze, critically analyze, examine, critically examine, highlight, compare and contrast. So what do you do when you say compare and contrast? You're going to take specific parameters and you have to compare and contrast. You have to write the similarities, you have to write the differences. Examine is nothing but listing out the positives and negatives. Critically examine, give a critical examination. What is critical examination? Critics means try to find out the negatives first and then try to give solutions to it. Like critically analysis, like what do you do in analysis? Like you try to take different various dimensions and you analyze each dimension. So there are different types of, these are different types of keywords. So whichever your body is there, this should be relevant to the keyword. Am I clear? That is what I told you now, no? Whichever body is there in your answer, that should be relevant to the keyword, and whichever introduction and conclusion is there, that should be relevant to the theme. Enduku ani cheppante, the purpose of the introduction is that you are telling the examiner that you know why the question was asked in the exam, or you know the demand of the question and you are going to write the right answer. You are introducing your answer to the examiner. So the relevant introduction is that significant based introduction or definition based introduction. For example, there is a question on Gaganyaan mission. So discuss about the Gaganyaan mission, like with respect to its objectives, maybe outcomes, and like whatever it is. So like what would be a like a relevant introduction? Like Gaganyaan mission was a project envisaged to take like human flight or whatsoever. Okay, like so if that is there, if that is there, so what I'm trying to say is with respect to that, if you know, for example, take Chandrayaan 3 itself. There is a question on Chandrayaan 3. Well, like what was the significance of it to the country? So you're writing the introduction. Chandrayaan 3 is about this. You're writing this the objective. That is significant based introduction or definition based introduction. But the current context based introduction might be India recently achieved this feat, and it has put the India in the elite nations, elite group of nations, and also which has landed the satellite at the South Pole, which has been uninhabited. So here what I'm trying to say is a relevant introduction would be a significant based or definition based, but a good introduction would be current context based. When you're telling about the current context based, there are two benefits. One thing, you're telling the examiner that you know why the question was asked in the exam. At the same point of time, you are saying the examiner that you are establishing a current context to your question. Like you are well aware of the current events. That's why I know you have answered the like given the question, and you are introducing that you are well aware of the current events. So that will how your introduction will be better than others, because most of the people when they see that mission they'll start it. But before that, you need to understand like if their theme was like in the news. How will you know that? Only if you when you make notes. Only when you make notes in the way which I told you. Only then you will know that it was in news. Only know then you will write good introduction. And with respect to conclusion, there might be in editorials. See, for mains, we read editorials because like in editorials there are many experts who give opinions. There are many experts who give opinions. So that opinions you can quote with respect to any solution or any futuristic conclusion. In technology, mostly you need futuristic conclusions because in technology there is always scope for improvement, scope for development. So there is always scope for new problem, new threat. So it is always the best way to conclude a science and technology answer is giving a futuristic solution or conclusion, right? Then I told you what is a good introduction, what is a conclusion. So what about a good body? What about a good body? How does your like how is your the body in your answer different from others? How do you make it different? You tell me. Okay. Valuation. What is valuation to what would be the valuation to like SNT? Hmm. Data about install capacities and all. Yeah. Like that. Yeah. Online participants, like how would be your like body be different? How would the body of the answer be different from others? Can someone answer? How would your answer become different from others? So as you said, you're very right. It becomes different when you add data, when you add substantiation, when you add values, when you add reports, when you add current developments with respect to it. At the same point of time, there is one thing which most of the people miss out. The other thing is that segregation of dimensions. So when I say good body, the answer. First one is value addition. And second one is segregation of dimensions. So as I said, if it is like if it is about the value addition, substantiating data, expert reports, or any reports like that, you can quote. But what do I mean by segregation of dimensions? When I say segregation of dimensions, when I say some particular factors are asked, for a science and technological answer, you need to first write technological factors or scientific factors. Then, rather than just writing the factors directly or whichever it is, try to categorize them into non-scientific or maybe like socio-economic, economic. Understood? Try to environmental. Try to bring out different dimensions to your answer. So different dimensions in the sense not writing just one point, one subdimension more than anyone, but it's about categorizing the dimensions into various multiple. Like as I told, as a civil servant, you're expected to have a multi-dimensional like approach or analysis to some particular problem. So try to like categorize your factors in such a way. or your solutions in such a way, or in your the dimensions of the side headings, whichever you have, try to categorize in such a way. When you do that, the examiner is going to have a very clear paper in front of him. And he'll think that you're a very organized person. You said your content is organized. Try to make your notes like this. When you make notes like this, your notes will be organized. At the same point of time, your answers will be even more organized. So when an examiner, in a whichever mood he sees such an organized paper, would it stop him giving the most marks to you? Because he has seen 9 papers who have just written randomly all those points without side headings, without categorizing these dimensions, and without subcategorizing these dimensions. But you have clearly written, you have given side headings. So even it was like this last paper of the day, it would be very easy for him to correct. It would be very easy for him to correct, and you are showing him practically that you have put so much effort to categorize those. So that will gain you that 1.5 extra mark or 1 extra mark you are going to get for everyone. So in every paper, if you get like, if you write for 7 or 8 questions, like 1 mark or 1.5 mark, maybe 10 marks in every paper. In 5 marks, like 5 papers, you are going to get 50 marks more. So 50 marks more than like what you're going to get, right? So the main point you're going to do here is categorization of dimensions. No, environment is that I'm not sure. You need to contact with the office. But environment, yeah, there is one more master that will be covered. It will be covered by other master, but not by the science and technology master. Hope I answered your question. Yeah, so categorization of dimensions and subcategorization of dimensions. Even when you say technological, you're putting technological factors, try to have subheadings for each and everything. Because that's going to make the examiner's job easier. That's going to make the examiner's job easier. Am I right? So have only focus on this, and what will make my value, like what will add value to my answer. For every point you write, every introduction you give, every body in every dimension you put, you need to think of like multiple times, is it going to give me that 1 extra point which I need? Is going to give me that 1 extra point which I this is going to be give that 1 extra mark which I need. Okay. So this is how try to make categorized notes, have subdimensions, have dimensions, try to have such things. Am I clear? Then comes the answer writing, the most difficult part, the most prejudiced part, the most feared part of any aspirant. So, with respect to answer writing, how many of you have have you started the answer writing? You started, like when did you start? 1.5 years. Okay. You? ఇప్పుడు చేస్తున్నారా? Okay. Okay, కంటెంట్ చదువుతున్నారు. Okay. First of all, don't wait to start an answer. You always think that, okay, I haven't finished the syllabus. Only after finishing the syllabus, I'll start the content. ఆ సిలబస్ అవ్వదు, మీ ఆన్సర్ రైటింగ్ కూడా స్టార్ట్ అవ్వదు. అట్లా ముందుకెళ్తూ ఉంటుంది. సో ఆన్సర్ రైటింగ్, లైక్ ఎనీ అదర్ స్కిల్, లైక్ స్విమ్మింగ్, డాన్సింగ్ ఈజ్ ఏ స్కిల్. ఆన్సర్ రైటింగ్ ఈజ్ ఎ స్కిల్. ఇప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ టైం మీ నాన్నగారు ఏం చేస్తారని చెప్పంటే తీసుకెళ్లి బావిలో తెస్తారు. మునిగి లాస్ట్ అలానే ఈత నేర్చుకుంటాం, రైట్? So even if you're pushed into a swimming pool, like you will learn how, that's how you like learn. Walking, even that is a skill. While you are a baby, you don't know how to walk, but that comes through practice. So the first step to do answer writing is to do answer writing. Many people think that I'll finish the content, I'll have the content notes, they'll make these big notes. I don't know what's the purpose of it. Maybe they don't want to crack the exam and they have to compile some notes and they have to release some book on their name. Your notes on every topic should be a maximum of 600 words. That's it. Try to make very short notes. So that if there are even 300 to 400 topics you have collected, you should be able to revise them in 300 to 400 minutes. 6 to 7 hours. Right? So your notes should be that short. And so this answer writing, how you're going to do is, For those who haven't done answer writing till now, or maybe in the beginning stages, you can follow a 3-stage answer writing. 3-stage answer writing practice. So what is this 3-stage answer writing practice, sir? 3-stage అంటే ఏంటి అని చెప్పంటే వెరీ సింపుల్ లాజిక్. ఎలా చెప్పాలి? ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ ఇట్స్ జస్ట్ ఏ వాట్ యు సే example for fun. It's I don't encourage to eat elephants, but for example, if you are given an elephant and you're asked to eat, so looking at the elephant, you will feel okay, it's very big, I can't eat. But for every big work, there are always smaller tasks which you have to divide into micro tasks, right? So there might be some systematic way to whatever it is, but that's not the main point. Even answer writing, if you are really scared, if you haven't done till now, you can follow a 3-stage answer writing approach. So what is this 3-stage answer writing approach? So this approach is all about like the learning each set of skill which is required for the answers in 3 different stages. So in answer writing, what are the things which are tested? The first one which is tested is speed, right? Second one which we need is structure. And third one are good points or good recollection capacity. So many people don't do answer writing because they feel that they don't have enough content, and because like when they start writing an answer, they forget the content. So they think that they're not even able to remember some small points. That's why they don't start answer writing. That is one category of people. There are other category of people, they keep on writing 10 to 20 answers every day, but they don't know whether they are writing the relevant answer or not. These are the second category. There are third category. They'll start just before the exam and they feel that, okay, I can't, I know everything. Maybe my speed is very good. I just have to work on the content and you have to write. I'm telling you, that's not how it's going to work. Yeah, yeah.
Some people feel to face the reality.
Yeah, that is one more thing. They keep procrastinating it. There is like some term with respect to it. So when you're scared about something, the human psychology is that you give other reasons to not to do it. You will be like, okay, I can start some after a few days, or maybe I'm very good at answer writing and all. But no, as I told you, for like one essay paper and other GS papers, I'm telling you, you have to write 8 to 9 above average answers on some different number of themes which you don't know which will come, and you have to get in top 10, maybe to get in your home district or whatsoever. So top 10 కోసమే కదా చదివేది. నాకు ఒక 200 ర్యాంక్ వస్తే చాలు సార్, నాకు టాప్ 5 వద్దు, టాప్ 10 వద్దని కాదు కదా. We all study to become top only. If you're not studying for that, don't study for this exam only. Right. So what I'm trying to say is, in the first stage, these problems are common. No one has learned answer writing without writing the answer writing. There are many people who just start answer writing only just before 3 months before the exam, but they do in the right way. They do it in the right way. So I'm telling you, these are the 3 things you needed. First, you have to write it very quickly. You have to structure your answer in that less time. And also you have to have good recollection, because you have to remember so many points. Because you have to remember at least your notes. Considering your entire paper is from your notes itself. All the topics are covered in your notes. So same things came in the paper also. So you need to have this good recollection capacity. In stage 1, what you're going to do is take known question. So what is a known question? You know the question for which you're going to write an answer before itself. Known question. Open book. What is open book? So you're going to read the question, you're going to study for the content, and you have to close the book, start writing answer. Whenever you feel like don't waste your time and don't become low. Okay, and open the book and look for the point and again write it. But ultimately here the point is all about writing it. Don't put any word limit. Don't put any time limit. Don't put any word limit. Don't put any time limit. When you're doing this, and try to take PYQs itself, because PYQs, as I said, themes are repeating. So at least if you complete those themes, you're at least doing preparation relevantly. Or else do one thing: take two questions from the PYQs, take 2 questions from the dynamic. In that way, starting with at least 4 answers per day, you will be writing like more answers. Also, you can take CiviccCentre test series itself, right? So take any test series, but keep writing. But start writing, keep writing. This is the stage 1. The outcome of the stage 1 is to get you good structure. to get you good structure. Now, coming to the stage 2. In stage 2 also, you wish, take a known or unknown question, whatever it is. But now, have time and word limit. Have time and word limit, because for now it's the assumption that you need to at least understand. You need to come out somewhat, have a time and word limit. Even if you miss that limit, it's okay, but you need to have that limit. And this time you shouldn't open your book, because here by then you have to have that recollection capacity also. Stage 3, this is where you're going to write the full length tests. So by the time you write the full length tests or FLTs conducted wherever it is, you have to be reached to this level. They have to reach all these, have all these things. Here slowly in stage 2, what we are doing, we are achieving speed slowly. Now we have organization we have achieved, and also slowly you are recollecting the content whichever you are studying. Now stage 3, what you are going to do, you are going to take unknown question. Obviously this is all in exam environment. So in first stage, start with 5 questions. Start with only 5 questions for maybe 15-20 days. Then go to stage 2. There you start writing 10 questions. That stage 2 is done. Then you start writing 15 questions. So go take this step by step. Don't be scared that you haven't done answer writing till now, or you haven't put the pen on paper itself. But start today. The best day to start is today for anything. రేపు అనుకుంటే రేపటికి వెళ్ళిపోద్ది, ఓ3 రేపు రా లాగే ఉంటుంది. సో బెస్ట్ డే టు స్టార్ట్ ఈస్ టుడే. ఓకే. సో సార్ నాకు ఇదంతా లేదు, నేను చాలా తోపు తురుము, నేను ఆల్రెడీ ఒక సంవత్సరం, నేను ఆల్రెడీ ఐ హ్యావ్ రిటర్న్ ద మెయిన్స్ ఆల్సో బట్ కుడెంట్ క్లియర్ ఫర్ సమ్ రీజన్స్. వాట్ షుడ్ ఐ డూ? వాట్ షుడ్ యూ డూ ఈస్ collect all the current themes or issues. Make the notes in the organized way which we said from the themes and PYQs, and try to make your answer better from now itself. Try to write multi-dimensional answer and try to write that one extra point or one extra expert advice, whichever it is. From now that you feel that you are very good with answer writing, you have to get good with writing good answers. You have to get good with writing with the good answers. How are you going to do that? Try to find that extra point which will add value to the answer. How are you going to find it? You're going to find it because, for example, there is gene therapy. If gene therapy an issue was in news, try to put the gene therapy in Google and try to type news. When you select the news, you will get all the latest advancements with respect to that particular topic. There you choose maybe for the last 1.5 years or 2 years, you will understand in what context it was in news. Then you can understand how can you there you might get some expert articles. There you might get some expert opinions which you can quote in the answer. At the same point of time, you're putting more time on what's the paper is going to be, because of the current events which are there. As we discussed, the paper is very dynamic. So here this will help you make relevant answers. It will help you write good answers. You start writing this value added answers or the good answers. Try to write every answer better before that answer, and try to do this if you have experience in answer writing, if you have been only on this. And I'll if at all you're giving group 2, is anyone giving group 2 now this month, APPSC? Anyone? Okay. So if at all there is anyway group 2, people preparing for group 2, it's very simple. You have to prepare for group 2 because there is only very less days. But ultimately what you can do is, once you finish your group 2, and for the people who are preparing for group 2 and group 2 parallelly, all you can do is very simple. Start with answer writing the 3-stage program, and whatever data you studied for group 2, use it in the group 1. Because as I said, the notes, the 600-word notes on the every topic which I told you to make, the 300 words or 50 words are going to be static only. Whichever you study for group, the features, the benefits, applications, or whatsoever. So all the static part is not going to change. The same thing is going to be for group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. The content is the same. The focus areas are the same. So you just have to put more efforts only with respect to the analytical part. Who are preparing for both group 1 and group 2. Just focus only on the analytical part. That's it. Are you getting my point? So because the static part is going to be the same, whatever it is, the features, the components of different schemes, or maybe different missions, the objectives, outcomes, all those payloads, all these are not going to change. All the things are you need to have better is just the analysis. So that's it. So this is how you practice answer writing to this particular subject. So last 3 months, as I said, try to do only this. If you are like already prepared with this paper, now don't try to like find any new topics. Maybe new topics you can find, but don't go for any new sources. But it's always better to have at least notes. If you didn't make any notes, try to make at least the very short notes so that you will remember the dimensions, because it's very difficult for you to remember as a human. And as I said, you need this last minute notes because so when you study, your information will be like this. So slowly with days, it's going to fall. That's why the people they tend to revise again and again. So this notes you need it because you have to revise again and again for every 15 days or for every 7, like 15, 7, 3, 1, like that. If you like revise it like that, you will remember the like content. Okay, so for that revision, at least you need notes. So whoever has already given mains, try to write such good answers. Try to add some value to your answers. Don't just write whatever the information is there. So what about the sources which you are going to follow? The source which you are going to follow is, firstly, you can follow the NCRTs for the basic principles and all. Right? Because like if you have to like read some general science, some basics, if you have to understand, you have to go to NCRT itself. Then newspapers, because in newspaper itself, you will get to understand all the issues which are happening. If you look at the, what do you say? If you look at the issues or the editorials whichever are there, the explain section, the science section of the Hindu, if you read those only, you will understand what's happening with respect to science. So newspapers are the excellent source with respect to knowing issues, knowing about the new technologies which are coming. And other than that, we have PIB. PIB is also a very good source, like because even in PIB, the releases are given ministry wise. So environment, you can check environment ministry, you can check space, Department of Space. So all these things you can check out there, and also Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Health. So all these ministries will be whatever the like new updates are coming with respect to it, that will be given in ministry every day. And even with you can go to ministry wise, you can check the updates with respect to it. So that's a very good source for you to know the topics and all. Then, for example, national science and technology policies and all, whichever policies you have, the government will have either a policy document or a policy summary in the PIB. So try to look at those policies rather than just like looking at some institute's notes or like whatever it is. What I'm trying to say is you need to have such idea of what should be written in an answer, because you have that word limit. So try to look at those policies, like if that's policies like they are mentioned in APPSC group 2 material, I guess, in civic centers. Civic centers, I'm telling you, the static part and all, it's covered because it's the latest material. We released it for group 2. All the current affairs are covered with respect to it. So for this, all these static notes, if you don't have time, you can really like read to that material. Okay. Then policy documents, Department of Science and Technology website, ISRO website, then PIB, already Ministry, nuclear energy website, remoenergy.gov.in, investindia.gov.in. All the government websites, you will have all these updates. All the government websites will have all these updates. You just have to set the timing of the articles to last 1 year or last 1.5 years. Okay. So try to find these might be the, so these will be the sources for you. And as I said, for TGPSC, we have released a science and technology book. So if you need any content with respect to energies or some things, you can find it here. But for APPSC Group 2, we have released exclusively for material. So in that, all the static part is covered, data is covered. So for that, you can use for data, that you can use for the static part or the static information. So you just have to, on that, you just have to add the main relevant points, which are the, like, as I said, positives, negatives, or advantages, disadvantages, applications, such things. So these are the sources which you can follow. And apart from that, we have compiled the PYQs also. And apart from that, we have 2022 paper APPSC, right? So if you look at the paper, this is the latest paper. So do you think the problem in India is not so much knowledge creation as knowledge consumption, and scientific social responsibility will go a long way in remedifying this situation? Justify your stand. Discuss the challenges associated with the implementation of the scientific social responsibility. So whenever you see a question, try to see the aspects which I told you. See here, it's all about the scientific social responsibility, where it's all about like we need people with more skills. We need more skilled labor. so that even when you get new, when you need new investment, companies will come and prefer, because India has more skilled labor. And what is the problem with respect to India? The overpopulation and unemployment, right? Why is the gap so severe with respect to unemployment? Because the universities or the things which are there, they are not providing the enough, as equipping them with the enough knowledge, technical knowledge, which are needed for the skill set needed for the corporates. So that's why Skill India initiatives are brought, and that's why National Education Policy 2020 was changed. So like that, every question whichever is there, that will have a particular context with respect to in current event. Are you trying to get my point? What I'm trying to say is the meanings, what the maturity I told you need to have in your answer writing. You need to, if you understand like these things are trying to really test those aspects only, right? And there's one more. So digital platforms dramatically improve the quality and accountability of public service and facilitate citizen-centric governance, elaborate and explain various technical, economic, and social bottlenecks. So even in the questions, if you find these, so it is specifically asking you to write technical, economic, and social bottlenecks. Okay, and bottlenecks with respect to implementation e-governance. Why do we need e-governance? Because to reduce the corruption and to make the processes more easier. So all these terms, technologies, whichever are there, we are using in the everyday life, but we just involved so much in the books that we don't look at the PYQs, we don't look at the news at all. So if you look at news, if you make notes with the, like in the way I told you, all these things, you will see that okay, this is very obvious that this question was asked. Then consider this. Why is India's space industry looking for private sector investments, even though ISRO is a successful performing PSU? Why? Why should India look at it? Tell me. You don't have to study also to answer this question. So I'm telling you, think in that level. Because very simple. Initially, telecommunication was controlled only by government, and later private sector came. So why do private sectors come into like business? Because when you bring the private players, the market will grow. They will bring in new technology. So the prices and all whichever are there, once which were under the control of the government, the market forces will share the price. And when it comes to government sector, if there is only one monopoly with respect to that product or that particular service, whenever there is a problem also, you just have to bear with it. But if there is a competition business, for example, Airtel, Jio and Idea, whichever are there, if there was only one monopoly, if people had to buy the SIM card, he won't invest in giving quality services. But if you have competition, you will always try to give better services than the other person, because you need people to buy your product or take your service, right? So with respect to that, even if you have to get to like advancements in space, you need to bring private players. That will bring more competitiveness in the market. That will bring new technology. That will encourage new people to come into the picture. That will grow the market size. And space technology has always been one of the strategic areas of cooperation, strategic areas of development, right? So when the superpowers like USA, Russia, USSR, China and all being like so technologically advanced with respect to space, India should also show itself like the strength it has, right? So for this reason, like this question might be asked, because that is the reason you have to write. This is the kind of multi-dimensional social reasons why this has to happen. Or like first, because it's a technological reason. So first write the technological content, like what are the technological like reasons with respect to it. Then that's what I was trying to say. Then economic, how it will have economic implications, how it will have political implications, how it will have geopolitical implications. So this is what makes you answer a better answer compared to other people. So green energy, discuss about the green energy corridors that they need in India. So what is the need for green energy? Because we have to reach our target, carbon emissions target. At the same point of view, we have to reduce the pollutions, we have to reduce the emissions. So, and as I said, our import bill is like becoming more, we are depending more on the non-renewable energy sources or the conventional sources, which might deplete the sources soon. So we need to shift to green energy. So that is there. And climate change, we know like devastating effects. So there are many effects with respect to climate change. So climate change will lead to sea level rise. So sea level rise is going to displace many communities which are already living in low tide areas. Almost 700 million people. 700 million people are living like that. So not just books. Try to have just a general understanding about the topic around the burning issues which are like being there. Then look at the current events, link it to the syllabus, Look at how the PYQs, you see there's only simply very simple pattern being asked. So whenever there is like open cache mining, these are such like mechanisms. So definitely like in your notes, what is meant by open cache mining, you might have written no. Definitely it would be there in your notes. So that's what I told you, the side headings I told you. Then discuss the impacts of open cache, like positive impacts, negative impacts. I told you no. Then solutions to overcome them. All this is in your notes. If you understand why this question was asked, why this was in use, the context for each question which is being asked. So be aware of the current developments around you, not just from the exam perspective, but as a common man. As a common man, you are expected to know few things. As a civil servant, you are expected to know in a very systematic way, in a multidimensional way, and identify the problems and give solutions to it. Try to have that underlining purpose of giving such questions. So when you give such an honest attempt, you will honestly get the service. ఏదో ముక్కుబడి చదివామని కాకుండా ఇలా ఆనెస్ట్ ఎఫర్ట్ పెట్టండి. హ్యావ్ యూర్ ఎఫర్ట్స్ ఇన్ ఏ వెరీ మీనింగ్ఫుల్ వే. ఏదో బుక్ దొరికింది, మా ఫ్రెండ్ గారికి చెప్పాడు, చదువుతూ ఉంటావు, సడన్గా టీ తాగడానికి వెళ్తావు, అది ఇది కాదంట, ఆ నుంచి కొట్టింది నోట్స్ వచ్చిందంట, అది చదవాలరా అని చెప్పంటే మళ్ళీ వికాస్కి వెళ్తావు, కొంటావు. యూ విల్ జస్ట్ బికమ్ ఏ బుక్ కలెక్టర్ బట్ నాట్ డిస్ట్రిక్ట్ కలెక్టర్. సో యూ డోంట్ నీడ్ మల్టిపుల్ బుక్స్. You need one such book, as I said, like maybe CiviccentreIAS Group 2 material, where you just have the static data at one place. You just need to have the expert opinions on the points which we get in the current affairs itself. The more magazines, the more online reading you do, the more expert opinions, the more like such points you will get. So look at the entire paper. Like look at the entire paper. It will be somewhat like very general itself. It's not so like detailed. You don't have to be an expert in these particular aspects with respect to this. So follow only this core approach, follow the reverse engineering technique, try to have your own good notes, organized notes, notes which are meaningful, notes which have the data which need to be put. So incote enti ani cheppante, you have to make your own notes, because suddenly you won't remember like what data to write. But if you have that notes ready, whenever even you're writing current affairs, you can quickly put those points in your notes. That will make your preparation more dynamic and more easier. And that's the only way you can recollect the points. If you take some magazines notes and you have all the data at once, and if you like just mug up those data, you won't know how to use it. You will know how to use it only when you keep using it again and again. బాణం ఉంది, ధనస్సు ఉంది, మన దగ్గర ఇది ఒకటి ఉంది, జస్ట్ వాడకుండా మనకి అలవాటు ఎలా అవుతుంది? ధనస్సు ఎంత ఉందో బాణంతో టార్గెట్ని కొడితేనే మీనింగ్ ఉంటుంది. సో అలా మీ టార్గెట్ APPSC ర్యాంక్ కొట్టేది, I'm telling you, you have to link like make such notes of 600 pages everywhere for the core approach. Add data points wherever possible. Try to categorize your dimensions. So just a summary of this class. అర్థమైందా? ఇప్పుడు అనిపిస్తుందా కొట్టచ్చని చెప్పి? ఇప్పుడు అనిపించాలి. ఇప్పుడు అనిపించకపోతే నేను మళ్ళీ ఫస్ట్ నుంచి క్లాస్ స్టార్ట్ చేయాల్సి. ఓకే, దిస్ ఇస్ హౌ యూ డూ ఇట్. ఓకే, డోంట్ బీ స్కేర్డ్. Last 3 months I know it's very difficult, but you have come this far. And there's a quote recently I saw on Instagram. There will be times where you feel like giving up. There will be times where you feel like not getting out of the bed, studying, feeling very low. ఏంట్రా పరిస్థితి ఇలా అయిపోయింది, కెరీర్ ఇలా అయిపోయింది, అమ్మ నాన్న బాధపడుతున్నారు, ఇన్నిసార్లు రాసిన అయినా అవ్వట్లేదు అని అనుకున్నాక కూడా, ఆ థాట్స్ వచ్చాక కూడా ముందుకు వెళ్ళే వాళ్ళ ఎనర్జీ అంటే యూనివర్స్కి చాలా ఇష్టం. అర్థమైందా? ఆ లెవెల్కి వెళ్ళాక కూడా all those toppers, like all those people who are giving interviews, who become overnight stars, yeah, they deserved it because they work day and night for it. They work day and night for it. So that you need to enjoy that success. These are the things which no one will tell you. Winner ki loser ki ఆ moment give up ఇవ్వాల్సిన moment అన్నప్పుడు మాత్రమే, if you have to keep moving forward, that's well you will grow as a person, you will develop as a person, you will keep working hard. అంత జస్ట్ ఇన్ని రోజులు కష్టపడ్డా, ఒక 3 months కష్టపడండి అంతే. You will have your dream job in your hand. You will have power in your hand. You will have such power where your signature will impact many lives. That is the satisfaction you need in life. మనీ ఎలా అయినా వస్తుంది, కానీ పవర్ అలా అందరికీ రాదు కదా. ఇదంతా చేసేది మనీ కోసం, దేనికోసం కాదు కదా. లైక్ యూ ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు సచ్ ఎ పొజిషన్ వేర్ యూ ఫీల్ లైక్ అది ఆల్రెడీ ఫీల్ అయిపోతుంది, కరెక్ట్ అయిపోయినట్టు. ఏమని చెప్పండి, రిలేషన్ తిరుగుతున్నా, ఏం రిలేషన్ వచ్చింది మీకు? అది. సో యు ఆర్ డూయింగ్ ఏ వెరీ గుడ్ జాబ్. Many people don't do this like daring step to come and like right, but you have come till now. You have qualified the prelims, which is the paper was very difficult. where there was negative marking. You have like come out of that crowd అని చెప్పంటే you are better than those people. ఆ బెటర్నెస్ అనేది మీరు ఈ రకంగా ప్రూవ్ చేసుకొని అప్లై చేయకపోతే it won't be of any use. So many people have that zeal to crack it, but they don't know the approach to crack it. I'm telling you, this is the approach. ఇది వర్క్ అవ్వకుండా మీ దగ్గరికి ఏమైనా బెటర్ ఉంటే ఫాలో అవ్వండి. బట్ నా పాయింట్ ఏంటని చెప్పండి, నాకు తెలిసింది ఇదే, నేను ఇదే చెప్తాను. ఇది వర్క్ అవుతుంది అనిపిస్తే ఫాలో అవ్వండి, లేదా ఫాలో అవ్వకండి. ఇఫ్ యూ థింక్ యూ హ్యావ్ బెటర్ అప్రోచ్, బట్ ఐఎమ్ ఫీలింగ్ దిస్ ఈస్ రిలవెంట్ అప్రోచ్ అంతే. ఇంత మించి నేను కొత్తగా నేను ఓన్లీ ఇదంతా పక్కన పడేసి ఓన్లీ కరెంట్ అఫైర్స్ చదువుకుంటూ వెళ్ళిపోతాం మ్యాక్సిమం కొంటే, లైక్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అన్నీ రాకపోతే ఏం చేస్తాం? ఓకే, క్లియర్? ఎనీ డౌట్స్? సోర్సెస్ చెప్పాను, ఎలా చదవాలో చెప్పాను, నోట్స్ ఎలా చేసుకున్నా చెప్పాను, ఆన్సర్ రైటింగ్ ఎలా స్టార్ట్ చేయాలో చెప్పాను, ఎలా ఎండ్ చేయాలో కూడా చెప్పాను. ఇంకా ఇంతకుమించి ఏం చెప్పలేదు. ఓకే, యా, థ్యాంక్ యూ. విల్ వైండ్ అప్ ద క్లాస్ హియర్. యా, థ్యాంక్ యూ.